recording, so I'll go ahead and get started with my sort of housekeeping stuff. We may have some people kind of joining as we move forward, but so hey everybody. For anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Allie Rippey. I'm the employer relations manager with Code U. So if you're starting out in the August cohort, or if you are in the May cohort, we may not have interacted yet. We will probably get to do so once you finish your career readiness module, maybe a little bit before. But I work mostly with employers on that end of things. And I'm looking forward to tonight's speaker. Before we get to him, I just have a few announcements and housekeeping things. We have a few more guest speaker series planned out. I believe we are taking a break next Monday for Labor Day, but check Slack for the ones following. I know Danny and David, my colleagues, are going to be doing one. I think that's the remote jobs workshop coming up. We are always working on planning some events, and making sure that you all know about local events. So keep an eye on Slack for that as well. Make sure you are part of the Tech Careers newsletter, the job Slack channels, and the local career newsletters that go out once a month. And then for modular folks, if you're attending as part of your career readiness requirement, please make sure you fill out that form in your classroom. Okay, we still got more people coming in. Definitely keep yourself muted throughout the presentation. We would love if you could for the end in the chat. We'll have plenty of time for a Q&A at the end. So if you do have anything that comes up as you're watching, just put it in the chat and we'll make sure we get to it. But tonight we have Devashish Kulkarni. He is going to be presenting on on shelf discovery, how analytics shape grocery shopping. I'm personally excited about this by someone who loves to online grocery shop and gets targeted coupons when I do that. So Devashish is currently working as an insights analyst at Kroger on the search team. He's got a bachelor's degree in engineering and a master's in business analytics with data science certification. So before starting at Kroger this year, he was at Flipkart, which I'm told is part of Walmart, and Snapdeal. So all that, we still have a few people joining, but I will pass it over to Devashish to take it away.
Thank you. So, hi everyone, I'm Devashish, and thanks to Codio for inviting me. Today, I'll walk you through how analytics, the invisible force behind the scenes, shapes the way we all shop online. From the items that appear first in your results to the emails you receive to how your packages actually get delivered. Analytics is everywhere. And again, this is going to be a very high-level perspective of the field and not a full-scale technical session. So we always can have some Q&A session in the end. Again, a little about me. I did a Bachelor's of Engineering from Pune, University of Pune in India. Then I did my Master's in Business Analytics from University of Cincinnati. And I have over 6 years of experience in data analytics. And in my current role, I am an advanced insights analyst at Kroger. So again, data isn't just numbers on spreadsheet. It touches everything from healthcare, e-commerce, sports, even the shows Netflix suggests you to binge next. I'll show how the same principles apply to something we all do, buying stuff online. What excites me the most about analytics is how it connects everyday behavior and it connects it with the business impact of all the decisions that are being taken. So to give you a live world example from the history, I'll share the example of survivorship bias. So how data can be used almost anywhere. During World War II, the military analysts studied the returning bomber planes to decide where to add the extra armor. And they noticed that certain areas of the planes, like the wings and the fuselage, had the most bullet holes, while the other areas, they did not notice that the same impact was there. So at first they considered like reinforcing these areas with the most bullet holes might help us win the wars. But then Statistician Abraham Wald pointed out the flaw. The planes that they were studying was the one they came back. Bullet holes on these planes showed where they could take the damage and still survive. The missing data from the planes was that the planes that were shot down and never returned. So actually, the critical areas to reinforce were the ones where there was little or no damage on returning planes, right? Engine, cockpit, or fuel system. So if you only look at the products that sold well, you ignore the products that never made it to the cart. It is the analyst's responsibility to find these hidden patterns in the data and craft a story around it. Same way, the evolution of online shopping. First, it started from traditional shopping, like when people used to visit the physical stores, the brick and mortar stores, and pick up stuff from on the aisles and just bring it home. The next step was the early e-commerce, the clunky old websites that we have all seen, and there was limited adoption. There was no user interface, there were no apps, and hardly any experience that a customer had. After that, we had the hybrid system, where they were click and collect, and then apps were introduced around 2008 to 2012. We started apps coming around, and Facebook Marketplace, eBay is a very good example of click and connect. And today, we have omni-channel, where customers seamlessly switch between app, web, pickup, and delivery. So this is where we are today. And again, to walk you through how analysts become essential at each stage, that understanding what analyst does in his daily life. The first step starts from the data collection. So data can be collected from various sources, from your smartwatch, from your phones, from the experience that you're having on websites, the number of clicks you're doing online, even small stuff like when you tell your Alexa to switch on and off the lights, even that's where data is collected in the Internet of Things. The second part comes in the data cleaning, wrangling, and manipulation, because most of this data is not going to be well arranged. It is going to be having missing values, null values, duplicates, and even millions of rows which doesn't mean anything. So it's the job of a data analyst to make sure the data is presentable, clean, and can be understood by the machine, because these softwares are not designed to have these kind of raw structures in data. So cleaning and wrangling are the most important parts of it. The tools that we use for this, I'll discuss them in the end, but these are very easy to learn and pick up tools. Second job is to create metrics. It's just like if you're an analyst at Uber and your boss tells you to find the average distances each rider travels, and you're given raw data. There's no distance mentioned anywhere, but you find, okay, there's speed, okay, there's time. You can easily create a metric called distance, which is into time. So it is depending on the kind of data, the nature of data, and also the field you are in, these metrics are going to change. For online shopping, these are mostly cart ads, time taken on the website, impressions, basket size, etc. And then there comes the next part of the job, which is one of the most critical parts, which is analyzing and to find trend and anomalies. If you identify, okay, there are 100 users who took like 120 minutes to cover 2 miles of the distance. Is it an anomaly? Is it a flaw in data? Then you see, okay, let me find their longitude, latitude, what were the geography, what were the location. And you realize, okay, all these drivers are on the same freeway, so they might have been stuck in traffic. This is a trend. But if you just find one driver who took like maybe hours and hours to just travel 1 mile, and it was just one single isolated incident, you could easily say that it was an anomaly. So having that sense, and which is a trend, which is an anomaly, and is a discrepancy, is a very basic trait that is required. And then presenting to the right audience. Who is your audience? You need to know your audience. If I'm presenting to a CEO and I'm showing him millions of rows of data with thousands of columns, he just has like few seconds to view the screens. There's nothing he's going to gain from that. I have to make sure that my audience knows, and I know what my audience wants. I need to show them just product cards, just some graphs, but like a single glance, they could understand what's going on here. A very good example would be the stock market. Whenever we see the ticker at the bottom of the TV screen, we just see, okay, this stock was like 3% gains, 3% losses, 5% gains. And we can easily craft a story. Okay, this is what is going on. I'm not going to buy this stock. I'm not going to get this stock. Or how's your uh, stock wallet doing? So this is the way data has to be visualized so that your audience exactly gets what they're trying to learn from it. And then comes the part feedback loop. Each analysis, each trend, each anomaly teaches us something, and we have to make sure that it has to be taken care of in our next project. The last part, which is considered the third part of this whole process, is the data management. You're taking care of millions of terabytes of data, and it has to be arranged well. This is where the next part comes in, data engineering, where data warehouses, data lakes, and databases come in scene. And you have to learn these tools so that you could connect these all small islands of data, get what you want, discard the unwanted, and craft a story out of this. The next part is one size doesn't fit all, global versus local. Online shopping is universal, but habits, culture, and infrastructure varies dramatically across the countries. In US, it's more about bulk buying. In India or in South Asia, it's more about smaller basket sizes. In Europe, it's most about rising sustainability demands. In rest of Asia, it's quick commerce and the rise of dark stores. So analytics must adapt. A forecasting model for India must handle lots of small baskets. But while in the US, it's about the big carts and promotions. So analytics isn't just about math, it's about context, culture, and human behavior. It's not a scene of copy paste, but each society crafts its own analytical journey. And this is where different geographies have different analytical fields which are emerging. Fraud detection analysis. It's not just in banking and financial market. It's a very huge part of grocery shopping as well. Loyalty program analysis. Identifying which customers are about to be lost, that is called as attribution analysis. Uh, Making sure that your customers are having a good experience on the website is very essential part. So e-commerce takes account of time spent on website, uh, returning customers, non-returning customers, dormant customers. If you see that you stopped using your Amazon or maybe Walmart for a while, you start getting promotions in your emails, and your friend who might be using it a lot is not getting the same kind of promotion you are getting because you become a part of a basket that is about to be dormant. So you start getting better deals. But when the same customer is shopping constantly, you get loyalty points like a reward for shopping on the platform. All this is done by something called as RFM analysis, which is recency, frequency, and monitoring. Each of these silo is studied. These are all different databases. They are brought together. They are analyzed and put into baskets. And then which customer fits in which basket is decided, and the promotion is passed it on to the next team. That okay, these are the groups, and this is how the next tactic should be. This is the most exciting part because this is where things get exciting. The recommendation engines. E-commerce platforms shows you the items based on your past purchases. If you're a new customer, it's still in the recording phases, but these engines are learning everything that we do. And these are designed to make our experience more personalized and convenient and easy to use. If the engine knows that, okay, this customer buys milk and bananas very often, that these are the first things that will be shown on your home screen because it has learned and it is adapted that okay, this group belongs to this basket where groceries are the most frequently bought. This is the group where electronics is more frequently bought. So our previous histories, our actions craft the experience that we're going to have in the future on these platforms. The next thing is my personal favorite. It's computer vision. Like if you go to some bigger cities, like in Seattle, there's Amazon Go stores. When you pick up items from these shelves, you can just put them in your basket and leave the store. because it is automatically linked to your wallet. There's computer vision cameras scanning each and every action of you. So each barcode is automatically scanned when you pick the item from the shelf and put it in your basket, and you can just leave. And it's 99.9% precise because I've used it personally and I was amazed how things might work. And there are again data science engines behind this. There's all matching the UPCs with the correct prices, the correct product you have chosen, the number of products you have chosen. So this might feel like a pilot program, but we are actually living in this era where this is happening. Then there comes NLP, that is natural language processing. So when you type shirts under $10 or Oreos versus chocolate cookie sandwiches, it is the job of NLP to understand that, okay, this person is looking for Oreos, but wait, what if there are other brands which also make chocolate sandwich cookies? So it creates a grid for you based on the highest relevance and the lowest relevance, that to give you the best experience based on your previous experience, previous purchase history. These products are shown. So this is where natural language processing comes in. Like when you talk to Chat GPT and you're frustrated because after 15, 20 prompts, you're not still getting the desired results, and you start typing in angry mode, and it understands that as well. The AI engines are now capable of understanding emotions from the way you type and the words you type, and also the responses change by the way you type as well. So this all comes under natural language processing, and it is part of a data science field again. And behind the scenes, these models constantly learn, adapt, test, and it's like having millions of little scientists working for you. Okay, I mean this very cool part, the predictive analytics for maintaining warehouse and storage and logistical planning. So in the previous slide, I mentioned dark stores. So what are dark stores? Dark stores are just like cloud kitchen, wherever in cities which are too large to cover by single warehouses, there are small nodes of mini warehouses placed in that city. These are called as dark stores because these are not storefronts. These are just mini warehouses. And based on the data collected of how a city behaves in different seasons, if there's fall and there's a high sale of pumpkin spice, all these stores are stocked up with those. And this is how predictive analytics comes in. Which store might sell what product at what time? Everything is being studied and then delivered to each customer and the store as well. Again, there are studies that whenever there's a higher rainfall, there's high sale of vanilla ice cream. And the correlation analysis, people realize that, okay, when there's high rain, people stop and they enter grocery stores just to get some shelter. And the first product they buy from the first aisle is ice cream. So there's no connection in between these things. It's called correlation. And these are the small patterns that are observed and then used to craft customer stories. So future of grocery shopping, it's going to be hyper personalized shopping experience. We all are going to be dealing with AI nutrition coaches, AI agents, and these are not just going to show us how, what to shop, but in fact shape the way we shop. I know people who are diabetic and they are using different AI agents to craft their own grocery shopping. Purple City AI shopping agent is one such example. If you fill up your all medical files to that, it shows and suggests what can be bought, what cannot be bought, what is suitable for your family and your dietary needs. And this is what all e-commerce platforms are adapting today. And this again comes within machine learning and natural language processing. So second part is the sustainability driven analytics, reducing waste, eco-friendly shops. Whenever you go in IL, there's something called as augmented reality, which comes into scene. And this is highly visible in European markets because the the geographic region of Europe is more inclined towards more eco-friendly products. And whenever you scan the UPC with your phone, UPC means a barcode. So when you scan the barcode with your phone, it gives you eco-friendly swap. Okay, you can save this many kilogram per milligrams of CO2 emissions when you buy this product. And there's a huge market space going in that direction, which is not seen in other countries. So analytics is those regions are more focused about sustainability and ecosystem. And then AR, which I just explained with the example of IM shopping. And then autonomous delivery solutions. In cities like Seattle, Amazon right now has small mini robots which deliver products to you. When you place your order, and if you choose a robot delivery, within 30 minutes, you get your products delivered from these many dark stores. Same with DoorDash. And again, in some Middle Eastern countries, we are also having drones delivering products to us. The backbone of all this structure is data. Data collected at each node, at each point, is analyzed and used to conveniently present a solution that can solve this problem. Because the last mile delivery is becoming the biggest question in e-commerce. The shorter the delivery times and the convenient the UI experience the customer has on the website, that website is going to win. So talking about skills and tools required for these roles, there's going to be a huge basket to choose from, but there's always something to start from. And these are the most basic skills that will enable all of us to choose either of these roles that are mentioned here. So the basic role is data analyst, then product analyst, ML engineering, business intelligence engineering, or specialist, data scientist, and data engineer. All these use same kind of tools, but the purpose is different. A data analyst use these kind of tools only to analyze data, wrangle with it, manipulate it, and present it with the further stakeholders. Product analyst will be focusing on maybe some in-house softwares or in-house tools, and the the use case for product analyst is smaller than that of data analyst. ML engineers are the people who design machine learning models and train them for the purpose like natural language processing. And then business intelligence engineers are similar to data analysts, but they also work with pipeline building. Pipeline as in are the connections that are built between various data sources. So this is a very unique skill which differentiates between a data analyst, a data engineer, and an ML engineer. The core skills required for this field is SQL. SQL is the bread and butter for a data analyst. It's just like Excel is for other roles, SQL is for data analyst. Python and R give you the ability to manipulate, train, and design the tables that you want. Tableau and Power BI are the tools that help you visualize the data. So these are the each steps. Data is collected in SQL, wrangled and manipulated in Python, visualized in Tableau and Power BI, and then a story is crafted using basic statistical knowledge. So it's a chain which is very much important for all of these roles. Then other skills that can be picked up on the way are machine learning, ETL pipelines, data warehousing, data governance, and its management. ETL pipelines, as I mentioned, is building and maintaining of these sources. And the biggest question companies face today is how can we maintain the hygiene of data, having firewalls so that personal data is not shared easily or it's not leaked somewhere, and then automating this process because we're talking about terabytes and petabytes of data that has to be manipulated. And trust me, with even supercomputers at work, it takes 72 to 80 hours just to create a one single data set of table. And automating this is a very difficult and important task in this process. The soft skills required for these roles are storytelling with data. Just like the example we had of the World War II example. So once you have what you require, you should be able to craft a story around it and make a compelling point which can shape the business decisions and have an impact. And having a business intuition, like understanding, you cannot sell products which are economically eco-friendly and sustainable in South Asian countries. These markets are not ready for that yet. So knowing the data analysis, the impact of it, and the intuition for it is very much important. And again, stakeholder management. The point we talked about, knowing your audience, it comes handy in this context. Then my personal favorite, I keep looking for these things in movies as well. So if you want to say analytics at work, I would definitely recommend watching the movie Moneyball. Like just like picking the right players with data, analytics picks the right trends for the decision making. And The Big Short, it revolves around the story of Dr. Barry, who had spotted the hidden patterns in the mortgage data before the 2008 crash. And the third is Interstellar. It is my personal favorite movie, and Christopher Nolan had used data of how might a black hole look like from like previous telescopic views, the geographic locations of telescope, and they had visualized a black hole and shown in the movie. And years after the movie, when an actual picture was taken, it was like around 90% similar to what they had imagined it could be. So that's the power of data. So that's all I had, but we can still have some technical discussions if you're up to it. You can connect me on LinkedIn or reach me at this email address.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to come off mute and ask. I'm curious, like I've actually also been in one of those like Amazon, things where you can just walk in and walk out. Do you foresee that being the future of like all grocery stores, or do you think that they'll want to maintain some element of like, I guess, normalcy? Like, I don't know, because I imagine my parents trying to adjust to something like that, and like I think they would probably lose their minds with the cam. And it is kind of freaky, I will say, at the Amazon one with the cameras everywhere. I was like, oh my goodness. Although it is convenient. I don't know. Do you think that Kroger will go in that? I mean, obviously I know you're not speaking for Kroger, but do you think big chains like Kroger will go in that direction?
I would say it's a very interesting question. And yes, they will go there, but that's not where the future is.
Yeah.
So, because right now there are some companies like in South Asian markets called Blinkit and Zepto, and these are called as quick commerce.
Yeah.
Just imagine that you're cooking something, you're making your pasta, and you just realize that you ran out of olive oil. And it's a difficult you have to go to the shop, get it, or even order a bulk of products because you are thinking that, okay, if I don't buy for $35, I won't get it delivery.
Right.
And the delivery time is next day or the next evening, anything like that. So quick commerce is a solution to that. These companies are delivering it to you within next half an hour, and you can have any basket size. You can just order one banana, one can of olive oil, or one single item.
Yeah.
So this is becoming more convenient than these stores where you can just pick stuff up from.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like maybe if Kroger does it, they would probably do like little pop-up, like urban versions of it, rather than just like converting a whole store into that. That seems a little bit intimidating. Anyway, Catherine, what was your question?
Hi, I actually have two questions. Thank you so much for speaking tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time. And the first one relates to, like, I know that you work at Kroger, but like I know Kroger has the new electronic tabs that are supposed to be fluctuating the prices based on the traffic, I believe. Does that have any impact from the data of shoppers?
Sorry, I don't work with that team, and I'm not sure we can talk about that.
Okay, I kind of figured that might be a little bit dangerous for
you have any other questions regarding
analytics
or any tables, I can definitely
Devashish was telling me before, he was like, I have to be careful with what I put on here just because it's like, I mean, it's not that, it's just grocery shopping, but it's still people's private, data. So
can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead, Catherine.
I was just going to say, if there was something that you could change about like your path to becoming an analyst, or like an area that you could focus on more, what would that have been?
Again, interesting question. My first role was with Flipkart. So Flipkart is like South Asian subsidiary of Walmart. So it started from logistical analytics, like planning warehouses and how last mile delivery can be made more efficient was my first role. And from that, I moved on to web analytics, what I'm doing right now. So I would definitely say it was a journey because I learned something on each step. And I finally stumbled into web analytics because this was something I found more interesting. And I am very tech savvy, so this made more sense for me. And I have other friends who continued their journey in logistical analysis and planning because they fell in love with predicting the seasons, making sure the warehouses don't run out of stocks is something they like. So it's up to your choices, which uh, field interests you more. Mine was web analytics. You might have logistics. Other might have more technical data science fields or into coding or development. So I would say if you pick up the basic skills that I just mentioned, you can take a taste of all of these things and then choose the one you want to get into.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks. I think I saw, was it Tiffany that had a question as well? I don't see your hand anymore. I don't know if I accidentally lowered it.
No, I did. I didn't know how to word my question or if it would like really correlate with what was going on. Like, it's kind of, I guess, off in left field, but you know how they said data analytics. So Facebook and data analytics, is there something that automates that pops up those things like groceries or, you know, I can't word it right. I'm sorry. That links, like, you know, it links to advertisements for food. Like if you're on there and you're looking for something, does it link to, is that something in the works? Is it something that I'm stretching for, or?
In the field of data analytics?
Yeah, like, does it tie in?
So you
I know
might
it's
have had, like experiences that you're talking about something and you start seeing ads on Instagram or something. So all of us have been there and experienced that. So this comes from big data analytics, and it is a very separate field, and wherein the data collected, the sources are different,
okay.
and the way it is handled is very much different. So yes, that is possible, but it doesn't come in the purview of web analytics. So these are like
Okay.
each silos, and each silo has a different task and functioning.
Okay.
But yes, that is the case, but that is something I have zero knowledge and idea. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I knew it was kind of a left field question, but it just popped into my head. So I was like, you know, because you'll be on Facebook and you'll be like, hey, you know, I like this particular thing. And then all of a sudden, a grocery store for like Kroger's or something will pop up. I didn't know if there was something automated that ties those in, but sorry about that.
So one of the questions in the Q&A, which feel free anybody to put some more questions in there or in the chat. Someone asked what skills we cover in data analysis, and whether or not our students are exposed to Power BI. We actually previously had a Power BI specific course that was, it was the Empower Up program, if you all remember, but it was like a no-code use of Power BI. Unfortunately, our funding for that program got cut. So, but as far as I know, the current data analysis course does not focus on Power BI. We mostly use Python, and that's kind of the focus of the majority of the program. I would say in terms of developing skills in those programs, I'm not a developer myself, nor do I work on our curriculum teams, but there are a lot of resources out there to learn things like Python, to learn things like SQL and things like that. And especially once you kind of get a start in a program like CodeU, it's pretty easy to, not, I don't want to say easy. it's easier once you have a base to kind of teach those things to yourself by starting projects that maybe incorporate those newer technologies. And I would say to anybody who's interested in doing that to use our Slack channels as a resource. If you're in touch with a mentor from when you were in the program, always feel free to reach back out to them if they're available. I'm sure they'd be happy to connect with you. And you can just reach out in Slack in the general or any of the channels that suit you in terms of asking for resources or advice on a project, things like that. There's usually somebody who will respond and be happy to give you some advice. Devashish, if you have any advice on like upskilling in general, when you're not in school or when you're not in a program like this, any resources that you like to use, please feel free to share.
Yeah, sure. So the first thing I would recommend everybody do is to learn Excel, because Excel is the base of all of this. Because once you Excel, you can definitely easily pick up SQL or Python, because you start visualizing what you're doing with the tables. Once the visualization is in your mind, you can easily bring it to your keyboard and then to your screen. So after Excel, I would say start with SQL. Once you're done with SQL, you can move on to Python. And that's where more advanced part of the Excel comes in. It's just those formula, the language is different, and the use case are different. That's it. So Excel, SQL, Python, and either Tableau or Power BI for visualization. But one thing that I did to keep practicing was Kaggle, or if any other free database you can find anywhere. So Kaggle was my source. I'm not endorsing it anyway. It was just free. So me and my classmates, we used to download different random data sets from Kaggle, and we used to start working on them. So the most widely used data set is NYC pizza prices and sales. So there's this data with all the different pizza places in NYC, their prices and their locations. And then we used to try to find different patterns. Okay, these zones are overpriced. Okay, these zones are very least priced. Is there any pattern in that? So once we learn something from that, we would look for some similar databases. Like, do we have seen with Boston? And we should try to apply same logic there. So you can keep up with your mini projects, which you pick from these small databases. Just download the files, upload in your SQL or Python, and keep working on them and visualize. So it's like one step at a time, but practicing, I would say, goes very long.
Yeah, that's super helpful. Thank you for breaking down like the order it makes sense to go in to learn those things. Jamar has a question. Will technological advancements and the rise of online retail lead to the end of brick and mortar stores, similar to the decline of shopping malls? So kind of similar to what I was wondering, but I don't know what you think, Devashish, if it'll make our stores as empty as shopping.
That's my personal opinion, but I don't think so. They might reduce in number, but they're never going to go away.
Yeah, I mean, even now, shopping malls they're definitely more empty, but I still go to the mall sometimes. But yeah, like I said, I think there, especially certain generations of people, are gonna be really weirded out by all online shopping. So, any other questions? Let me check the chat and make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, Curtis says, okay, yeah, 1 and 2 are focused on Python. Under the assumption that SQL is the focus of Module 3. So, yeah. Well, if there's not any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording here. If I can figure out how to do that.